Hey, Danny, how you doing, man?
We're all currency, my dear. Yeah.
The only one that matters is when they put my face on the coin, or the £10 note, or whatever it was she said. Good old Liz. What a weird exchange that was.
Really weird. This film was weird.
Yeah, I have a number of opinions about this film, and I think we're going to disagree about it, so that should be fun. But before that happens,
Okay.
have we got some bullshit? Because we always do.
Yes, we do. Are you ready?
I do. Yes, I'm ready.
I do. Okay. Whoa. Molly May from Love Island gets in hot water.
I know. It's whenever you see an influencer come up in the headlines, it always makes you think, oh, for God's sake, what the hell has happened this time? Have they said some incredibly insensitive thing, or have they done something incredibly stupid?
Yeah.
And in this case, it seemed to be a bizarre mix of the two.
Yes.
The thing is, Danny, you just need to pull yourself up by your bootstraps. We've all got the same 24 hours. We can all do whatever we want. We can all get to be, what is it she is? Executive comptroller of Pretty Little Thing or whatever?
Yeah, so just for some context, for those of you that don't know, Molly May, I don't know her second name, Fury soon. Oh my God, I can't wait to see that.
Yeah, of course.
Jesus Christ. So she did an interview with a sort of podcast thing, and
that's how I would describe us, a sort of podcast thing.
Podcast thing, and she was talking about how we all have essentially the same 24 hours in a day, and our success is not down to socioeconomic factors; it's down to how far you're willing to go to achieve success. She even admitted
that's the one
that she'd been slammed in the past for saying such things because people rightly said, well, you have no idea, you haven't grown up in poverty, and no offence to her, but Love Island, it wasn't as if she
it's
worked,
not a taxing job.
Yeah, she didn't work for 20 years to get to Love Island. She was picked because of her relative symmetry and was put on a show and then got brand deals after it, North Korean Love Island would be an interesting show. Would it?
It would be. I don't really know. It would be odd and depressing.
Yeah, a little bit.
It might be like that bit from The Emperor's New Groove, where Kuzco's advisor has found like a group of women and he's like, Kuzco, which one of these do you want to marry? And he like goes down the line and he's like, no, I don't like your face, I don't like your hair, I don't like your whatever, and he goes down the line. Maybe it'd be like that, but with Kim Jong-un instead of David Spade.
Yeah, he's the only man.
Perhaps.
He's the only man in the entire place, in the island that isn't an island.
Yeah, the sort of yeah.
Yeah. So that's what she said. We all have the same 24 hours as Beyonce. And you just have to work harder, and I've worked my arse off to get where I am.
No, she hasn't.
She really hasn't.
God's sake.
So yeah, it's just the same old, incredibly wealthy people telling people that haven't had the same opportunities that the reason that you're in the situation that you're in isn't because of external factors, as every statistician worth his salt clearly shows that's the main reason why people aren't wealthy. It's because you're not willing to work as hard as Molly May. That's the reason.
Yeah, that's the thing. Molly May, she's put her nose to the grindstone. She's out there. She's sewing clothes together for Pretty Little Thing.
Yep.
She's doing all sorts of things. She's really working her ass off.
Yep.
Getting the Pretty Little Thing name out there. She's doing advertising, social media. She's doing all of it, Dan.
Oh yeah, the company that she represents pays their workers £3.50. They're just not working hard enough.
Disgusting.
They're not working hard enough.
The thing that it reminded me of in the most insane, bizarre way is, do you remember that episode of Family Guy where Brian writes a really shit book?
No.
Wish It, Want It, Do It. Do you remember that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Dougie does, yeah. And the idea of the book is, it's a self-help book. And he starts the book and it's like, okay, so what do you wish for in your life? Write it here in this book. Okay, add 20 blank pages and all the rest of it. And that's the entire thing of the book, is it says, what do you wish for? What do you want? How do you do it? What's the steps between here and doing it? And then he goes on to, he gains massive success for this because it's the kind of sort of self-help book that sells a lot of copies very well. And a lot of the times these things are very successful.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm sure there are people that they help, and that's great. But January self-help books.
Yeah.
Well, there is some wisdom to that, Dougie. You're completely right.
You've got Jordan Peterson.
DVDs.
You've got Jordan Peterson with his 12 rules for life. One of them being clean your room. I don't know if that's an actual rule, but I think he did say that. One of them being put your shoulders back, because that will increase your attitude and it will make you feel more successful. That was an actual that's a chapter in his fucking book.
Good stuff. But anyway, the wish it, want it, do it and stuff. And then he goes on to like a more serious talk show, which, well, it has Bill Maher on it, so it's not great. But he talks to different people and they sort of say like, well, yeah, you can wish it and you can want it and you can do it, but if you don't have the educational advantages or you don't have the cash already in your pocket, what's the point in just saying, I'm going to work really hard for this?
Yeah.
Because you can't do it. For example, if I wanted to get a book published, which I would love to get a book published, but if I were to get a book published, I'm already at an advantage because I have a career as a writer. I am fluent in English. I'm more wealthy than a lot of other people are out there in the world. I'm fortunate enough to have access to power and a keyboard. And do you know what I mean? I'm fortunate enough to have access to all these things.
Yes.
But there are a lot of other barriers of entry that somebody who is less well off than me or somebody who is doesn't have as good a grasp on, say, English, or do you know what I mean? There are barriers for entry to these things that I've already overcome, and I'm not blind to that. I was born into a privileged life, really.
Yeah.
It just infuriates me looking at Molly May saying, you just got to work, you just got to put the time in, put the hours in. You come from an incredibly rich family.
Yeah.
You are a rich person. So you are wealthy, you are advantaged. You lucked out by being picked onto Love Island. Mm-hmm. It's the same as people that are like, oh, I'm proud to be British or I'm proud to be anything. No, that's a stroke of luck.
Yeah.
It's a roll of the dice, what country you were born in and what things happened to you. That's not something to be proud of. That's just something that's happened around you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's an accident.
Absurd.
It's an accident of birth.
Mm-hmm.
People, the sort of neoliberal bubble that we all live in, spout the same lie continuously. That he's a self-made billionaire. He's worked his way up from nothing. There is no such thing. There is absolutely no such thing.
Nobody earns $1 billion. Nobody in the world earns $1 billion. No. You exploit $1 billion out of the people whose wages you are not paying.
Yeah.
You exploit $1 billion by not giving your workers adequate compensation for their time.
Yeah.
It's disgusting to consider the idea that Elon Musk is out there sitting on hundreds of billions of dollars, which actually isn't even all his. It isn't even real. Yeah. It's just the promise of hundreds of billions of dollars.
Exactly.
That he doesn't actually have, but he could potentially have, and that's what makes him an influential person.
Yeah.
It's disgusting to consider that, he's got the same amount of time in a day. No, he doesn't.
No.
Because he's already got people working 5 individual careers for him already that he doesn't have to do. He can spend his day getting really good at Spanish or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
He can spend every day learning a new language for an entire year, and his income would not be affected whatsoever.
Yeah, exactly.
Because he already has other people working his jobs for him.
The best.
I'm on a right rant now. Go on, you take the mic.
Yeah, I will. I'll grab it off you. The best example that these people always say is Bill Gates, and another one, Warren Buffett. Okay, Bill Gates was born into a middle to upper class lifestyle before he even started going to university and did the thing that he did. I can't remember what it was. What was it was in his
Microsoft
garage or something. There was something that made him really wealthy. He dropped out. Yeah, but unfortunately, the majority of people that go that have had to pay their way in, that have actually started from nothing, can't actually afford to drop out. Like he had a good family to fall back on. Warren Buffett's dad was a stockbroker and a congressman before he came. So everyone has advantages if you're going to make that amount of money. No one starts from nothing and then builds their way up. Because if that's the way it worked, we would all be wealthy. But the system that we live in, it isn't designed for everyone to be wealthy. It isn't designed so that everyone gets a fair crack at it. They lie and they say that everyone has a fair shot at it, but we don't. We just don't. Because if we did, then greedy bastards wouldn't be able to make money. Yeah,
you're completely right. Yeah, it's a necessary lie of a capitalist society to say, you have plenty of chances to get £1 billion. You can earn that much money when you can't. If you earned £100,000 every year from the day that Jesus was born to today, you would still not even scratch the surface of Elon Musk's wealth, or Jeff Bezos, or any of them, because it's such an obscure, insane amount of money. If you got to Eton, you're likelier to be PM than someone who went to a local high school, Dougie says.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you're completely right.
Completely.
I think it's 20 of our country's prime ministers have been to Eton, which is a massively disproportionate amount when you really consider the number of schools in the country and the number of prime ministers. It's just ludicrous to think of.
The saddest thing about this isn't the fact that she said it, isn't the implications of what it could mean. It's the fact that you can tell that she genuinely believes what she says. Like, different if you're a liar and you're just a shill who will just say whatever, because you can tell who those people are. But she actually believes that if you just work hard enough, you'll get to become the beauty representative of fucking Pretty Little Thing. And it's like, that's how these people continue to fleece the average person. That's how they continue to get the money that they do, because the people that have made it, so to speak, end up believing the bullshit and they continue to spout it, So it's a never-ending cycle of lies and incompetence.
Yeah, it's incredibly frustrating and incredibly annoying. And it's the thing that I keep coming back to, which is even if all of this weren't true, and if society were run by a secret cabal of lizard people in human skin suits, surely they'd come up with a better illusion than this.
Yeah.
Because if they were some secret cabal of elite lizard people or whatever, then they would come up with something that could fool me. Do you know what I mean? You mean it isn't, Dougie says. If it is, they're not doing a very fucking good job, are they? Christ.
So, silver lining out of this,
she
has not been let go for it. Like, a lot of fucking people have seen right through that bullshit, and they have absolutely lambasted her and people like her for it, which, I mean, I just see so many people say this stuff, and it's like, you just need to work hard. I'm going to do it because that's what I want to do, and my force of will allow me to get to it. Like, we hear that shit all the time, but the fact that more and more people, I think, are now seeing, wait a minute, that's just bollocks. Like, I have to look, I care full time for my fucking dad. How am I supposed to, how can I possibly use the time that you have? It's like people are just, I think more and more people are breaking through it and just being like, this is horseshit. This is just how people make more money, And
thank God for that, because it's something that I thank God for that is all I can say, really. It's something that I utterly despise, and I think it's a place you can really see it very well nowadays is in NFTs and this whole cryptocurrency nonsense, Bitcoin, which is circulating the globe. Yeah, because it's like, at the core of it, at the very, very core of it, the idea of a sort of unilateral currency, Dougie doesn't understand it. Okay, well, strap in. This is going to be the greatest explanation you've ever heard in your life. Imagine you've got a car, okay, and you turn your car on in your driveway overnight, and then when you go out to your car in the morning, out of the little exhaust port, you pull a solved crossword puzzle. The car has both printed a crossword puzzle and solved it. And because that's an inherently complicated thing to do, it's worth money to give somebody this solved crossword, because it might help somebody else to solve other crosswords.
Yeah.
That crossword would be 1 Bitcoin, 1 Ethereum, 1 whatever, if that makes sense. And the car would be one of these little Bitcoin mining rigs that's 5 graphics cards all sellotaped together on a motherboard.
Yeah.
That's what that would be. And an NFT is essentially, if you flip over the crossword and write on the back, my name is Lewis Brindley, and I own this crossword and also this painting of a monkey. That's what an NFT is.
Yeah.
But then it's just, well, I suppose it's whosoever holds this crossword is the holder of this particular picture of a monkey is an NFT. But the point I'm slowly getting around to trying to make is that the sort of myth of a self-made person is very evident within cryptocurrency circles, because it's a story that's too good to be true.
Yeah.
Because it happened with Bitcoin, the idea of, when it first was invented or bought out or released or whatever in 2001, I think it was, you could buy 100 Bitcoin for $100. And today that'd be worth however many millions of pounds because it's such an incredibly valuable thing because people say it is. That's a fantastic idea. The idea that, oh my God, on my USB stick that I had in high school, I had 3 Bitcoins and now that's worth so much money. Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's a fantastic idea. But it's that means that it's just opened the doors for so many other scammers that people are. I've drawn this picture of a monkey on the back of a napkin and I've made it an NFT, and now it could be worth thousands upon thousands of pounds in 10 years' time.
Yeah, exactly.
But it probably won't be. The idea of a decentralized currency is something I can sort of get behind in a strange level. The idea of like having a currency that is not inherently backed up by the value of something else.
Yeah.
Because what if the something else becomes more abundant or artificial scarcity is introduced? So the thing of the... Go on.
It's the same. It's the essential same principle as gambling. You know.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
You know, they always say gambling is a mugs game. You know, it could happen, and it has happened. But because human beings have this affinity to think that, it's happened before, so it'll happen again. Like that's just that for some reason that like a basketball player getting hoops 3 times in a row, everyone's gonna want and think that they're gonna get it again, and obviously they don't because for lots and lots of different reasons. But that's the whole point. And while you're betting on that, people are making money off of it. You know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're completely right, and it's the thing that really does get me is the idea of like a decentralized currency does make a lot of sense in a funny way. The idea of like there's that old story about how pound sterling, when it was first made back in the days of yore, was backed up by the price of gold. The idea that gold is inherently rare, and so therefore silver. But silver is inherently rare and therefore valuable because people will pay money to make it into jewelry and other things. Mm-hmm. And so therefore, if you have a piece of paper that says, I promise to pay the bearer on demand, it says on fivers or whatever, I promise to pay the bearer on demand the sum of £5 of silver. That's the idea of what that means. So then the money gets traded back and forth. But what happens if suddenly an asteroid crashes into the Earth that is entirely made of silver, and suddenly the price of silver plummets, so your money is worth nothing? Yeah. That is obvious. Well, it's an incredibly unlikely concern, but it's a concern that is understandable at the very least. And if that's the idea behind a decentralized currency, of having something that says, okay, my currency is not backed up by the value of anything else, so therefore that enormous crash in value can't possibly happen. Okay, that sounds like an interesting concept. But who holds most of the Bitcoin and most of the currency, do we think? I think it's 27% of all Bitcoin or something are held by like 1 or 2 people. Yeah. You fall into this same capitalist cycle of the money is held by 2 or 3 people and then everybody else is scrabbling over the crumbs.
Yeah, exactly.
It's absurd.
Exactly.
It's absurd.
It really is. But hey, there is no hate. That's it. That's you know. I'm just hoping that people will finally achieve class consciousness and just say, do we really need a tiny proportion of the population controlling all of the wealth? A wealth gap that's bigger than when the feudal lords were ruling over the peasants.
A wealth gap bigger than during the French Revolution.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck no. Is my answer. Don't. But yeah. At least they were accountable to their overlords. Who? What, the feudal lords?
Accountable to God.
Oh yeah, they wait. I don't understand what you're saying. They had to behave.
They had to behave or lose their job.
Are you joking? The idea that
I genuinely don't.
Yeah. No, the idea that feudal lords were like under some bureaucratic legislative body that monitored their behaviour really, really closely is just not true. Peasants were just beaten up for looking at a fucking knight wrong. It was utterly barbaric, you know.
I'm afraid I don't know enough about the time period, but what you're saying does sound true, Dan. Because I suppose the person that would have held barons, lords accountable would have been the crown. Yeah. And I suppose the crown don't have any incentive to chase down Lord Jim of Sussex or whatever if he starts mistreating his peasants, because he's giving them money. Do you know what I mean?
They were accountable to their overlords, but who were their overlords? You know, it's not like, you know, a sort of democratic body that was governing them. It was a monarch, you know. It was someone who's even worse because they have an even less sort of a far removed, warped version of what life is like for most people, you know. It's just I want that for my dinner, and everyone else is falling to buggery, you know. But
So now that we've shouted at Dougie for no
fuck
real
off,
discernible
Dougie!
reason, Dougie's just put a sad face in the chat.
Yeah.
Now that we've shouted at Dougie, I think the key theme is if you've got any cryptocurrency, get rid of it as soon as you possibly can, because it's also destroying the planet. Because the way instead of running your car in the driveway overnight, you're actually running 5 cars in a tiny box and depleting fossil fuels and polluting the planet massively. So maybe it's not really a good idea. Maybe, just maybe.
Yeah.
So, moving on gently from our rant about capitalism and cryptocurrency, a great way to start the new year, I must say.
Absolutely.
Moving on gently from that rant, what film are we talking about today, Danny?
We're talking about Spencer.
Yay!
And I think I know where Lewis is going with this. And it was written by Stephen Knight, who wrote Peaky Blinders, by the way. And it was directed...
I didn't like Peaky Blinders.
You fucker.
I started it, and I never got into it. Chloe and I, we started it, and I was like, okay, so it's sort of just after World War One, and these people are all very stressed out in a pub. Maybe it's very good. Maybe I need to give it another chance. But I never got into it when I first started watching it.
Yeah.
I'd give it... maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
I'd give it another go.
You think?
It's not for everyone. It is a bit... It can be a bit full on, but, I mean, it's...
Then there are a lot of tremendous actors in it, aren't there? There's, what's her name? Whose name I've completely and immediately forgotten. It was in my head. So Sam Neill from Jurassic Park.
Yeah, he's in it. Yeah, he plays a...
Is he really?
He plays a Northern...
Bloody hell.
He plays a Northern Irish inspector.
Oh, God. And who played Narcissa Malfoy in Harry Potter? She died quite recently. I've forgotten her name.
Helen McCrory.
Something. Helen McCrory, that's it, yeah. Who was also in Doctor Who, now that I think about it. And Anya Taylor-Joy, she's in it, isn't she? Cillian Murphy, Tom Hardy.
That's right.
Lots of very skilled actors are in it. So maybe I do need to give it another try, right.
What's his name? What's the guy's name from... he's in loads of shit. Hunger Games. He was in Me Before You. Sam Claflin.
Really?
Yeah, he's in it. He plays a fascist in it. Oswald.
Oh, wonderful.
He plays Oswald Mosley in it.
Oh God, that's I mean, in Me Before You, he was a fairly nice guy, and in what was it, Hunger Games, he was a rebel against a fascist state.
Yeah.
So I suppose he's showing range.
Yeah.
Because when I think of Sam Claflin, I don't immediately think villain. But I suppose, showing range. That's a good thing.
He's very good as him. But there you go. Yeah, and it was also directed by Pablo. Oh my God.
Here we go.
Lorraine. I'm gonna say Lorraine.
What's this?
Not as in Lorraine Kelly.
Spencer. Spencer IMDb. Oh, it's still on at the cinema. Damn. Pablo, oh God, yeah, Loran. I don't know where he's something or Larrain.
Let's say Lorraine.
Can Dougie see? Yeah, sure. Hang on. Like that, Dougie. What do we think? Oh, he's gone silent. No typing is occurring here.
I thought it was Lorraine. Brilliant.
Brilliant. Thanks for your help, Doug. Lorraine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Lorraine.
Let's go.
Lorraine? I don't know.
I'm gonna kill the both of you. Let's fucking go with Lorraine. Jesus Christ. Okay.
Okay, we're going with Lorraine. If you're listening, I apologise.
It is starring Kirsten Stewart, Timothy Spall, Jack Farthing, Sean Harris, and Sally Hawkins, and some other people. So there you go.
Danny, I can't believe you've just said Lorraine and then immediately said Kirsten Stewart. Honestly.
What?
It's Kristen Stewart. Honestly, Dan.
Kirsten Stewart. Oh, yeah, so it is. Kristen Stewart. I'm never going to meet her.
I'm not just being a twat.
I'm never going to meet her. Okay. Do you have an opening statement for this film, Liz?
I do, but I'd like you to go first, please.
Oh, okay. Oh.
There we go, see?
A slow, cerebral character study of a woman in an oppressive structure that is unforgiving to individual needs. A military hierarchy that allows for no deviation, but as a mother and a human being, those entities come into major conflict.
Okay. What a load of old shit. A study of how to make Diana is mentally unstable last for nearly 2 hours.
Yeah.
It's a terrible film. I loathed every second of this film. I really did not like it.
I did say it was slow.
It looks bad. You did say it was slow. It is slow. But it's so slow that it feels as though nothing is happening.
Yeah.
It's because Chloe watched this film. Does it mention her anorexia? Yes, it mentions her bulimia at quite great length.
Yeah.
Chloe watched this film and stopped about halfway through. And I said to Chloe this morning, I finished Spencer. And she said, they said, does it get any better? I said, no, it's shit all the way through.
Yeah.
It's just, because I remember, I think, again, this morning, Chloe said something like, in the first 45 minutes, it's just sort of, Diana arrives at this mysterious house, and then goes to a dinner party, and then goes to a fridge. That is it. That is all that happens in the first 45 minutes, and it's infuriating. And there's no dialogue in this film, which is insane to me.
Yeah.
You've got, like I quite like Kristen Stewart. I find her to be quite a charismatic actor, and I really have enjoyed her performances in other things. In, what did I call it? American Ultra, which is one of my favourite films. I really like that.
Yep.
And she did Adventureland as well, that I really liked. A very charismatic performance in both of those. And yet in this, I just found her annoying.
Yeah.
And I found it difficult to watch her. I don't know, it's really bizarre. And, yeah, I didn't like this film. Right, Danny, before I let you talk, I've got to have a tiny little nitpick. This is something that has bugged me, and I can't believe it's got to episode 98 or whatever we're on, and I haven't mentioned it. Danny, you know every single Batman film where Martha Wayne's pearls snap around her neck and then fall separately to the ground?
Yeah.
Yeah? And you know how that happens not once, but twice in this film.
I know!
In the royal family, where they have more money than God to buy the fanciest pearl necklaces that money can possibly buy. That is not how pearl necklaces are made. They are made with little individual knots between each of the pearls so that the pearls don't rub together and erode over time. Which means that it happens in every Batman film, which I can allow because it's a cartoon and I'm not meant to take it seriously.
Yeah.
But in this film that I'm supposed to take seriously as like an art house cinema piece.
Yeah.
And then I have to watch Kristen Stewart shoveling pearls into her mouth.
Yeah. Like, did that?
What is going on?
Did that happen?
Oh, God.
Or is that just a vision?
I don't know, but it's the most infuriating thing in the world.
Yeah, because like the pearls go into her soup and like. No one does anything. Like, no one. Everyone just continues eating, right? I get that the royal family is bad, right? I get that they're bad. And they probably have really weird traditions that are quite unforgiving to people, right? But the idea that they're like that, no. The Crown portrays them more accurately. They're cold, but they'll laugh at dinner, if you get me. It's like if there's any sort of trouble, they'll just sort of sweep it away. They won't like sit like fucking vampires and just watch you choke on your pearls for fuck's sake, you know.
And that's something I do like about The Crown. Is it manages to find an interesting balance between the idea of Elizabeth Windsor, the person, and Elizabeth Windsor, an embodiment of an ancient institution. It strikes an interesting balance that both is interesting to watch the performer play, but also to centre a story around, and that's really interesting. But this film just doesn't. It's really bizarre. During their divorce, Diana said to Charles that the Spencers have been in the UK longer than the Hanovers and the Saxe-Coburg and Gothers, the Windsors. They might have been, but at the end of the day, it's all made up. So who gives a shit?
Yeah, it's literally.
I know that's a bit harsh, but it's it's my humble opinion on the matter.
Yeah.
It's
who had the
absurd.
It's who had the most resources and then killed everyone that opposed them and then created traditions. You know, it's not important to me. I don't think it's magic. I don't think it's special. I think it's just, You know, we've killed everyone that was against us. Now we have to make up some ritual bollocks to justify us being in power, you know? But that's the way I see it.
It's here's another sort of odd. I'm not sure whether to give this to the film or to allow it to exist.
Yeah.
I like that implies that I can just erase the film from existence if I really try, which I can't, but I would like to. Diana's ancestral home, the Spencer ancestral home, in real life still exists. It's a building and some surrounding land, and if I'm remembering right, I think Diana is buried on an island in a lake in that estate. Which I might be wrong with that, but I think that's right. She's buried there. You're right. Oh, thank you, Dougie.
Well,
but yes. But then in this film, the ancestral home of the Spencers it's not burned out, but neither is it. It's like it's decrepit, it's ruined, it's boarded up, it's described as like being dangerous to go in and all the rest of it, which implies, you know, either it's been burned out or there's been some kind of woodworm infestation or whatever it might have been. But do we say that that's annoying because it's not something that's realistic? But also, it does describe it as, I think it's in the early couple of frames of the film, something about like the fable of Spencer or something, the fable of Diana Spencer or something like that. So is this supposed to be like sort of a cautionary tale almost, like a fairy tale or like a fable?
Yeah.
About like where things are just very convenient. Like, yeah, it is quite convenient that the mad woodsman came in at the last second and saved Little Red Riding Hood. It is quite convenient that Diana's house was both burned out and within walking distance from the royal family's house that they're in Christmas. They're at for Christmas.
Yeah.
It was I don't know what to make of it, but I didn't like it, so I've decided to be annoyed by it.
Yeah, I mean, what happened to what happened to Diana? Right, terrible. Absolutely fucking terrible.
I'll never dispute that in 1,000 years.
Yes.
What happened to Diana is a tragedy. It's a truly horrid story of what's happened.
Yeah, but I wish people would be more honest about the type of person that she actually was, because every time she's portrayed in media, she's portrayed as this goddess that can do like absolutely no wrong. Okay, I know for a fact, right, I watched documentaries on this shit, she barely ever went to her fucking home estate after she was involved with Charles and the royal family. Like, and see the fever dream that took over the country when she died. Like, it was absolutely like immense. Like, things were just being made up that didn't happen because it was like, I can't remember it because I was really like, I wasn't alive. But 1997. But like, I know people that just say, yeah, I mean, everyone was like obsessed, like as if like they knew her and they knew everything that was going on, and that's the problem with films like this, and to a greater extent, The Crown, because we are putting our own things on these people. And I don't think that sort of idolizing someone who, you know, made mistakes the same as Charles, you know, and was from that lifestyle and from that privileged background. Like, she wasn't like some diamond in the rough, you know. She was treated horrendously, but she was still in it. She was part of that, you know. And it's just it seems to me that that's the only criticism that can be levied at the royal family, but people don't go any further than that. They just say, oh yeah, Diana was treated horribly. But it's like, but everything else that they do is just like completely ignored, you know? It's just, people just love a fairy tale, and I think that that's what we often get with stories about Diana.
I think it could be argued maybe that the sort of hysteria that took over the country, I don't like using the word hysteria, but the sort of emotion that took over the country after Diana's death, could that have been maybe guilt to some level? Because there's a reason the paparazzi were so doggedly and determinedly following her everywhere she went, was because there was an appetite for that. They knew that if they put Diana's face on the front of a paper, it would sell papers.
Yeah, she still sells papers.
Well, yeah, and so sort of is there a level of sort of regret for the morbid curiosity of what's going on in Diana's life? I want to know. I must know.
I mean,
is there a level of You know what I mean? And so people are like, oh my God, I can't believe I had a hand in her death. Do you know what I mean? Maybe that's a level of guilt that was there over Diana, perhaps?
I mean, it just feels like kind of weird and creepy and a bit selfish to me, because it's like, it's people who had no idea who this person was. Because we can only go by what we see, right? We can't even know what our family thinks, really. We can never inherently know. We can only make deductive reasonings about what people believe and what people think. But, you know, it was unbelievable. People would sit outside Buckingham Palace and weep for days and days. Not even Philip got that level of admiration, and you know, it's like, I'm not saying he deserves it or anything like that, but it's like, it was so strange. And I think we have this affinity to people that look beautiful and look incredibly, you know, attractive. I think that it's not about, oh, we love this person because of what they stand for. We love this person because they're an ideal and they're what I like, and I'm going to project what I think they should be onto them, you know? Because...
No, yeah, I know what you mean. It's I've had a similar conversation sort of with myself and with Chloe before now, and sort of the idea of, I feel like I've watched a lot of Diana-centered things and I still don't really know anything about her, which is a very odd thing to think, because it's like that she's often treated as this messiah, and okay, but what was she really like in real life? Did she have any bad qualities? I honestly, genuinely, I don't know. And I think that's probably a bad thing, considering the amount of Diana media I've consumed.
She did charity, just like the rest of the royals, but the idea that she was some... you know, who went above and beyond. So no, that's just not true. Like, yeah, the famous picture of that is. I mean, definitely. Yeah. I'm not saying that she didn't do good things, but it's not like it's not as clear cut as people think it is, and I think it is a bit too much leaning into idealism over what a person should be rather than who they actually are. You know, you never meet your heroes because they're incredibly flawed more than you ever conceive possible, you know?
It's no, I think Dougie is right. Dougie quickly just mentioned AIDS was their biggest one. She broke barriers with that, and you are completely right.
Absolutely.
The AIDS sort of crisis was something that was absolutely not being addressed in Britain, in America, anywhere really, and Diana did break down walls with that one to address a much needed cause.
Yeah, she did.
The idea that that's something that really we did need to focus on that, and looking back, it's such a horrible thing to have happened that a lot of Britain was just turning a blind eye to, because so it's the gays.
Yeah.
Oh, we don't care about them. Again, a horrible viewpoint to have, and it's incredibly thankful that Diana did break down barriers and did have a hand in helping treatment get that little bit of progress, which is wonderful. But yeah, I still feel like the lady from the picture is all I know about in a funny way, and I don't feel like this film helped.
No.
Because the film is sort of a what's the word? Like a biopic of Diana in a funny way.
I mean, it's not even a biopic, is it? Because it's not factual. It's not. I mean, it's more. Again, it's just this idealism of what it's a caricature of who she was as a person, because we don't know. Right. You know, we can't. Like, it's the same reason that I think Philosophy Tube put it in a good way. That nobody really cares about who the Queen is as a person, but and the reason that people want the monarchy around is because they want to fuck the Queen. Did you ever see that video? What? It's like,
no, I haven't seen the what?
It's why does Britain still have a monarchy? And she said, it's because really deep down everyone just wants to have sex with the Queen. Like, it's not. No one cares about who she is as an individual, and it's just that raw attraction. Obviously not literally, but it's.
I don't understand the point that she's making there.
Okay, well, you're gonna need to watch the video. She says it better than
I suppose I am. Yeah, but I don't. Is it something about her being someone that we just want in power because of the vibes?
Yeah, I don't know. It's the feelings that she brings. If you get me, it's
okay.
it's raw attraction to a sense of pride, a sense of country, and it can be so powerful that she sort of dramatizes it as why do I want to keep the monarchy? Because I want to fuck the Queen, obviously. That's the way she says it. You need to watch the video. It's quite a good video.
I think I'll need to watch the video because this sounds. I feel like I'm no closer to understanding, but I'll put it on my to watch list. I'm sure.
Yeah.
I've got a quick question about the film to get us back on track, rather than just complaining about the monarchy for the next 20 minutes. Why did Timothy Spall have such a passionate vendetta against Diana? I don't quite get that one, because he put out the Anne Boleyn book for her, which seemed to be the source of some kind of visions of Anne Boleyn wandering the halls.
Did he have a vendetta? Like, he did fuck all.
It's sort of, but then he sort of was creeping up on her in the fridge and like, "Are you eating cake, Mom?"
Yeah.
Timothy Spall, you big creepy weirdo. Why are you following her around in the middle of the night? Go to bed. I don't know. It's just weird.
I mean, yeah, he put the book down. Like, okay, what? That's
Am I meant to take something from that?
That's the big plot twist of the film, that he put a book down for her, and then she started to think, oh my god, there's similarities between Anne Boleyn and myself. I'm going mad. Look, come on now.
Because are we supposed to think that she's gone mad? Is that the message of the film? Are we supposed to think that she's I don't like using the term gone mad because it's so vague and so stupid, but are we supposed to think that she's hallucinating? Are we supposed to think that she's making things up? She's sort of gaslighting herself?
Yeah.
Because it's that part where Maggie comes into the bathroom and Diana sort of collapses on her and hugs her, and then comes back and realizes it's not Maggie, it's someone else.
Yeah.
So are we supposed to think that Diana's really sort of lost touch with reality?
Yeah.
She doesn't understand what's going on around her anymore? Is that the idea? Because if so, that seems like it seems like that contradicts the film's core message, which is Diana is a good mother and trying to be a good person, but she's forced into this set of rules that are just really crushing her. But also, she doesn't have a grip on reality. So how can she interact with things around? I don't get it.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Do you know what? I'm going to be honest. I'm sick of Diana media. I really am. It's so oversaturated at this point.
Yeah, the thing is, Emma Corrin, brilliant as Diana in The Crown. Really brilliant. Emma Corrin, absolutely brilliant. I like Kristen Stewart, and I don't know whether it's a script problem or a Kristen Stewart problem or a director problem, but I didn't find her to be very good in this as Diana, or just at all, really.
No,
Timothy Spall is another brilliant actor, and he was in this film.
Yeah.
And that's about as much as I can say about it, really. He was present. The chef guy, he was all right. I felt like a sort of connection to him in a funny way, but
it's gonna win a fucking Oscar, obviously.
Yeah, of course it fucking is. Which is,
I mean, have
ridiculous bollocks. Oh god, I hate that when a film wins an Oscar and all the critics are just like, oh my god, this is the greatest film I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And then I watch it and I'm thinking, this is just 2 hours of depressing things.
Yeah.
Just because something is sad does not inherently give it artistic value. Mm-hmm. And that's one of my strongly held opinions. And it really infuriates me, because that's what all Oscar bait films are like. They either prey on nostalgia or sadness.
It felt
to make you to easily evoke something from the audience, to make you go, "Oh, that was really good." Yeah. Nonsense.
It felt like a fucking ghost story. You know, it felt like a horror film.
And if it were a ghost story, if it were a horror film, lean into it. Lean into the idea of Diana's gone to whatever the royal Christmas house is, Sandringham, and then she goes to that, and there's a haunted house over there. Ooh, what am I going to do? And then she goes around the house. Have that be an interesting story on its own that's somehow tied into Diana.
She could have been
could be a film, sure.
She could have been the ghost. Like, they could have had it. They could have had it at like a Christmas, right, with the family. But it's like after she died, and she's a ghost like trapped in this house because of the things she experienced. That would have been much better than.
That would have been a very good film. Yeah, have the idea that would have explained like flashbacks and stuff as well.
And Anne Boleyn,
things
you
of
could
like
have whatever you wanted.
Yeah, like how she said, this is sort of an ancestral home of the royal family. This used to be Queen Victoria's bedroom.
Yeah.
Then that would have been a way better film. God's sake, Kristen Stewart.
Well, I fixed it. I fixed
get
it.
on it.
I fixed the film. Oh God, what a shiter.
Yeah, it's that would have been a far better film actually, because then you could have had sort of modern royals, or even future royals. You could have had it when William is king.
Yeah.
And had what would the family structure be like then?
Yeah.
Because of course, Diana being William's mother, it could have been something interesting of like, I'm proud to see my son sort of doing these things, but I'm also, I know that he's so massively invested in this institution that sort of massively fucked me up. So which way do I stand on this? And that would have been really good. Now I love talking about bad films because I feel like there's a lot to complain about, and it's like the Anton Ego quote from Ratatouille. The work of a angry words are as easy to write as angry food, or something stupid.
Yeah.
But he makes a good point where he says that it's easy to write negative criticism because it's easy to write, it's easy to read. But then I always get annoyed by the end of being annoyed about something because I know it could have been better.
Yeah.
Because I don't know Pablo Larraín. I presume he's done a number of films before this.
Mm-hmm.
I presume Stephen Wright has done another number of films before this.
Yeah,
Could he not have done a different movie?
This is not Stephen Wright's best work.
No. He did... this is Pablo Larraín. He did Jackie, where Natalie Portman played Jackie Kennedy. I don't know any of these other things.
I've not seen that.
Lisey's Story, Homemade, El Presidente. I don't know any of these things. Okay. Nope. Who was the other person? Stephen Knight. I recognise the name. He did Locke with Tom Hardy, Serenity, no idea. Dirty Pretty Things, no idea.
Peaky Blinders.
Eastern Promises, no idea. Peaky Blinders, of course, yeah. I know I don't know almost any of these things. Christ knows. But I really did not enjoy this film. It's also just really fucking depressing.
Yeah.
I mean, Jesus Christ.
It's really boring and depressing.
It's really boring, really depressing, and I don't quite understand. Oh, my camera's gone weird. There we go. I don't quite understand the subplot where Lady Diana's dresser is in love with her.
Yeah.
Which, it's. I understand you need to have the idea of the film is that it's Diana's journey from being so utterly self-loathing to being sort of maybe things aren't so bad sort of thing. I understand that's the idea of the film, is it's a journey from those two extremes.
Yeah.
But I don't know why you would have the what's the word I'm looking for? The starting point in that little journey be her dresser telling her she loves her. I don't. Is there something I'm supposed to be reading into there? Because if there is, I don't get it. I just don't understand. And Diana putting her clothes on the scarecrow, and Diana walking in front of the guns when they're shooting at the pheasants. Oh, there's so much I don't get.
Yeah.
There's so much shit in this film. Jesus.
I know.
Oh.
Lewis, I'm going to be honest with you. I think I'm done.
Yeah, I think I'm done. I'm too angry about this film to carry on.
Yeah, it's just it's long, it's boring, it's overdrawn, and it's just pretentious for pretentiousness.
Yeah, there's that. I mean, my personal favourite part of the film was that 10-minute stretch where it was Diana dancing and running through different phases of her life, and I remember thinking, "What the fuck am I watching?" It's child Diana doing some ballet, and then teenage Diana doing some ballet, and then Kristen Stewart dancing around a bit, and it's just, what the fuck is? What am I watching? What is going on?
My favourite part of the film was the opening, like the military nature of the dinner. Like,
yeah, that was quite interesting.
You think, oh my god, what is going on? And then it's just, no, they're bringing the food in. Like that's really good storytelling. Like the excess of these people,
Yeah, that was good.
I like that. What was the other thing?
My least favourite part was the pearl thing. That really infuriated me.
Oh god, the pearls everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember what I was gonna say. Oh shit. Oh well.
Do we think this film could have been made better with more dialogue? That was something I noticed from the film, is there was a tiny amount of dialogue throughout the film, which I thought was something really strange. Timothy Spall is a great actor, Kristen Stewart, great actor. Why not have them do more talking?
Yeah.
They can do a lot of emoting and talking. Why not have them do it? I don't know, I just don't get it.
No, I don't know. I don't know what.
So do you think the film would have been improved with more dialogue or not?
I would say so, because it cuts out. I think you need to cut out a lot of the cerebral stuff. I think if you're going to have it just at a Christmas, you need to have conversations with more than just Charles
And the kids,
and the kids.
William and Harry.
Yeah. You need to have a conversation with the Queen because...
Beyond, that isn't what my dresser would have picked out.
Yeah.
Which is like, it sort of implies that the Queen is on Diana's side, which is a very specific point to make for no real reason.
Yeah, I don't understand why she would be. Because the Crown is no, she's trying to keep her family together, and she's trying to...
which is a motivation which I can understand.
Yeah, but in this, she's
the Queen or not, you would want to keep the family together and happy. Yeah.
Yeah. Which wasn't true. She wasn't a fan of Diana. Yeah, she's not a fan of her in The Crown. She's she just wants the marriage to continue to keep the monarchy from falling apart. She preferred Diana's sister. Do we know that though for sure? Can we know that?
Idea.
Yeah, but she's just like Count Dracula in this fucking film. She says three things and then fucks off with her dogs. It's like, I get she's meant to be.
That's true.
I get she's meant to be distant, but come on, you know. And Sally Hawkins is a great actor, so why are you misusing her? You know.
I just don't quite. Yeah, this film is not a good movie. I did not enjoy it, and I'm looking forward to what we're doing next week because I know it's more fun.
Yeah, exactly.
The Daily Mail says so. Dougie says in the chat. The Daily Mail, that bastion of accurate, honest reporting. That has reported something, so it must be true.
Yeah, exactly.
He's put a tongue sticking out face.
Yes. Speaking of which, do you have a closing statement, and then we can announce what we're doing?
I do have a closing statement. If I can fucking find the page. This film was shit. I don't want to ever see it again.
Yep.
I can't be bothered to deal with it. Christ, it was shit.
Yep.
Let's have a film where Diana's a ghost. That'd be brilliant.
Yeah.
Insane, but brilliant.
Exactly. Something a bit different. Mine's is overdrawn art house shite. So there you go.
Yep. It's so there we go, everybody. Have we got some? What do we do? What comes next? I've forgotten already.
Shilling.
Closing statements or shilling? Shilling. That's the one.
Yes. We all have linktrees. Lewis's linktree is linktr.ee/Lewis_Brindley. Mine's is ohirum. And the podcast is /shoutingintothevoid. There you'll find our socials, our Instagram, our Facebook, our YouTube. Leave us a like, leave us a comment if you're feeling cheeky, and follow us. Subscribe for all the deets about what's happening with our amazing content. Yeah, we also have a PayPal donate button, so anything you can spare, anything at all, would be greatly appreciated.
It would. This is true.
We also have Patreon, and we want to take the opportunity, as we do every week, to thank our wonderful, wonderful patrons. Chloe.
Thank you.
Darius.
Thank you.
Peter.
Thank you.
Aditya.
Thank you.
Natalie.
Thank you.
And Dougie.
Thank you, one and all. You really do make the podcast possible, including allowing us to complain at great length about films we didn't like.
Exactly.
Dougie gives us a thumbs up, so here's a thumbs up back, Dougie.
Absolutely. We also have merch on Teespring and Redbubble. We sell tote bags, jumpers, mugs, stickers, socks, all sorts of stuff. Get yourself something nice, because Christmas is ages away. So
yes, so you need to get your presents in now.
Yeah, exactly.
To be really prepared for Christmas.
We also have an amazing advert that we release every single week that you will be hearing now.
Danny, I've got some amazing news.
Oh, really? What?
I'm going to make you a hat.
Thanks. But why?
Well, because Right Side Yarns, who sell beautiful and unique wool, have recently released a new range.
Oh, I've heard of them. Aren't they that fantastic Scottish business that sells high-quality hand-dyed products perfect for crafting with?
They certainly are, and they're sponsoring the show.
Really? Have they heard the show?
Yes, and apparently they like it. Kezia, the owner of the business, has given us a generous 15% off code for any of our listeners to use.
Is that why you've got Void 15 written in your hand?
It is! If you or any of our listeners would like to use the code, simply enter Void15 at checkout with a capital V.
Great! Where do I check out?
You can go to their website at rightsideyarns.co.uk or check them out on Instagram at Kezia_rightsideyarns.
Fantastic! This hat you're making me better be good. Beautiful. Beautiful.
Beautiful. Utterly incredible. better than Spencer.
Yeah, actually is.
Yeah.
Do you know?
There were no ghosts in it, though. Maybe we need to re-record a version with ghosts in it.
Do you know? Diana the musical was shite, but at least you could laugh at that. Do you know what I mean? It was it was
Diana
more
the musical,
entertaining than Spencer.
Yeah, that's it's. If you haven't watched it, dear listener, it's entertaining, while also being terrible. It's the writing is very bad. The performances are very bad. The songs are. Say again.
The rhyming.
The rhyming. Oh my god, the rhyming. Pretty much every line in the entire film, because it's like a stage musical that I think they put on Netflix to build anticipation for it being released on Broadway. And the rhyming is it's atrocious, quite frankly.
Yeah.
There's one where I think she rhymes "no" with "Scorpio" or something. It's all very intense and annoying. But yeah, there's a Back to the Future musical out soon. Oh, fantastic.
That's what we need. We need classic films being made into musicals.
We do. We don't want new films or new ideas.
Yeah,
no way.
No.
Oh, don't be silly.
Load
No.
of shite. But yeah. Last but not least, we are partnered with an amazing company called Number 12 Crochet Avenue, and Lewis is going to say some wonderful things about them, all of which are true.
Indeed I am. Number 12 Crochet Avenue is a wonderful company run by my wonderful wife, in which they crochet and they do all sorts of things to do with crochet and the art of yarning in a sort of different way. So if you want to keep up to date with everything that they're doing, you can go to @Number 12 Crochet Avenue on Instagram, give them a follow, give them a like, see what's going on over there, and check everything out. So thank you very much. It'd be very much appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, shall we announce what we're doing for episode 99?
Yes. Let's. For 99.
Oh my god.
We're doing a film called Red Balloons. I don't know if there's ever been any kind of musical about how there's like a number of red balloons, something like 99 red balloons. Oh my god, there was a song. Thanks, guys. Thanks.
Jesus. Right, okay. Encanto!
We are doing Encanto, this is true.
Yes, so there you go.
It's a Disney movie, it's come out, it's set in Colombia, it's really good, the songs are bops. It's on Disney Plus, so if you've got Disney Plus, you can check it out there. I don't know where else it is, I'm sure it's somewhere. So, good luck and Godspeed.
Yes, exactly. But other than that, I think we're done.
I think we are also done.
Yes. So
how exciting.
Yeah, we will see you, hear you, smell you, make you swallow pearls next time.
Indeed. Thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.
Goodbye.